I'm Tim,
I'm Jonah,
and welcome to Boheim Baseball.
and today we're gonna do more of predictions, kind of talk over the games that are happening very soon. So tune in at 1:07 p.m. Eastern time for the first game, which is the Phillies and the Braves. Pitching matchup for that game: Suarez versus Fried. Suarez with a 3.65 ERA in the regular season, pretty decent season, and Fried on the other hand a 2.48. Fried didn't have a very good start to the season, but he's really buckled down and been a good pitcher, and we know he's great in the playoffs.
Yeah, like last year in the playoffs, Fried showed up. If he does anything like he did last year this next game, watch out, Phillies.
Yes, but we also got to remember that before that good game in the World Series, to win the World Series, because I think he pitched the last game in the World Series last year. I think he had a stinker the game before. So I don't think he's always super good, but when he's on, he's on. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be easy to tell if the Phillies are going to be being able to hang into it really fast.
Yeah, true. If they can really show up, because even though they swept the Cardinals, I really never felt their offense show up.
Yeah,
So their offense really needs to show up versus the Braves, because even though they swept their offense, you never got the feeling that they'd showed up.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can pitch Wheeler and Nola for 4 games this series. Well, actually, it's a 5-game series. There's no way.
No way.
So they're going to have to, if the Phillies are going to win, they're going to have to figure out how to win with their offense one of the games that Nola and Wheeler doesn't pitch.
Absolutely.
Which will be interesting versus the Braves offense, which is one of the best in baseball. Where do you think where does it rank? Second, third, somewhere in there. They're good. They're decent. They're good offense.
It's insane because I think going into it, the Cardinals offense was ranked higher, but they didn't show up at all.
Yeah,
but the Braves probably. I'm expecting the Braves to show up more, just from the fact they have more games to play. Braves are going to show up at least a few games, and
I think the scariest
Phillies are going to have to answer.
The scariest part about this Braves team is Ronald Acuna was very hot coming off the regular season. Very good end to the season. That's gonna be interesting to see. Speaking of the Braves, as we all know, they like to spend money on their future.
Yes, they do.
And they've locked up like all of their team for the future.
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out for them.
True, because if things work out for them right, and all these guys are locked in and they make the playoffs every year,
it's gonna be the '90s Braves again.
That's insane.
It's gonna be nuts.
There's a few guys I could see as not turning out long term with, but decent in the short term. I could feel like they could get locked up in the books later on.
Yeah,
which is a little scary, but
for now they look great. They look great. This Braves team is an exciting team to watch, and it'll be an exciting game to watch. I think it's definitely the Braves series to lose. The Braves are in it. As you know, predictions beforehand. I had the Phillies coming to the series and winning. Still trying to figure that one out. But you didn't have the Phillies coming. But now that you see the matchup, who's winning?
I don't think the Phillies have the offensive capacity to out-hit while out-pitching the Braves.
Okay, that's, it's reasonable, I kind of understand, especially watching those first 2 games. I was like,
The Phillies offense just hasn't shown up.
Harper did show up that last game, though.
He hit the ball once.
That's something to know. No, he had 2 hits, didn't he? I thought he had at least 2 hits. So, like I said, Harper, I think he's coming into it. I think Bohm is going to have a good series, but we'll see if they can win. Next series, Mariners Astros. As you know, I had this game going first. It'll be at 3:37 Eastern time. So if you want to tune in for that game, that's the time. Gilbert versus Verlander. Verlander, Cy Young. Gilbert, very, very good year.
Absolutely.
3.2 ERA, while Verlander, of course, we know has a crazy 1.75 ERA. But this one, as we said before, you kind of just have to say congratulations, Astros, on the first game.
Absolutely. There's no chance. And really, this series,
I think they have a chance that they can get to the bullpen. Because the Astros bullpen is not as good as it has been in years past. I don't know if the Mariners have a better one.
Yeah, the Mariners, I don't know if they can compete with the bullpen, and also I don't think like the Mariners had a really good offense versus the Blue Jays,
It'll be interesting.
but
to see how
I don't know if it will carry over to the Astros. The
'Cause the
Astros have
Astros-
been very good against the Mariners this season.
Yeah, and they pitch well. They pitch really well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's a really exciting series, I think. Mariners Astros.
Because like when the Blue Jays starter was on, when Gosman was on, they weren't hitting. They got to the bullpen.
Yeah.
They only got 1 run off Gosman.
Yeah.
So I think if the Astros can hold it together, I think the Mariners get shut down this series. I think the Astros are going all the way right now.
I think Julio Rodriguez is going to be a big piece of the series if Seattle wins. I think Julio Rodriguez needs to show up. He didn't really show up in the wild card series. He needs to show up in this next series.
Which is kind of the crazy part is Seattle won that series without Rodriguez showing up. They had other people
He got on
show
base
up.
twice his first game. But yeah, I think Seattle has guys that will show up. I think that's the scariest part about them is a lot of their guys are showing up and they're putting together good at-bats. So I think that's a scary part coming in, but we both have Houston winning this series.
Absolutely. Like, although it's scary that they're putting it together, it's not quite as scary as Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah.
Like, that man,
I gotta admit,
nightmares
that
for
is,
Seattle.
I think that is Houston's downfall, is their offense. It's not as good as other offenses around the league. Yes, it's good, but it's nothing compared to the Braves and the Dodgers. And even, I can't say the Guardians, even when I like the Guardians' offense. Anyway, I don't think it's anything compared to that, but their pitching, I have to say, is second, third best. I think it's second, third best in the league. I don't think they're better than the Dodgers. I know there's a lot of people thinking it is.
I think with the injuries the Dodgers have, Houston's better right now.
I don't know if
Maybe not earlier in the season, but I think Houston's better right now because they're healthy.
I still think you got to look to the pen, though. The Dodgers have the better pen, by far. The Astros can't compete to the Dodgers when it comes to the bullpen. Yes, I understand with the health of their starters, they're better to begin the game. But but I don't think you're chipping away at the Dodgers bullpen.
in a long series, you chip away at the bullpen because you're not getting the length that you need from the starters. So I think in a long series, Houston has an edge.
But you got to realize Julio Urias is a killer. Him and Kershaw are going to pitch well, and Tyler Anderson. They have the 3, and they have the 2 guys to piggyback the 4. I don't know. I know the Astros do have depth. If you're going a long series, you gotta kick the Astros out quick, I think. If you're the Mariners, you kind of have to kick them out quick. I don't know about the Mariners. They do have some decent pitching depth, especially with Kirby coming out of the pen. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, next series. This one's at 7:37 Eastern. Yankees Guardians. This is the one I predicted. You didn't predict this one. Like we said, I went 3 for 1. You went 1 for 3. But Quantrill versus Cole, first game starters. Quantrill had a 3.83 ERA. Cole had a 3.5 ERA during the regular season. We know Cole's a strikeout pitcher.
Mm-hmm. Cole's going to get strikeouts, and he's pitched really well lately. He kind of struggled during the Yankees' big losing streak, but as of late, Cole has been on point.
But the one thing that I think the Guardians have an advantage, they don't strike out. And that's going to play a role versus Cole.
Okay.
I know.
Cleveland's last series, how many times did they strike out in that last game?
I know.
They struck out a lot.
But statistically,
most strikeouts ever.
Well, a lot of them were Tampa too. But you got to look at this. I think they have like one of the lowest strikeout percentages in baseball as a team. That's something you have to put in comparison against Cole. Yes, I know Cole, he's kind of, it'll be interesting to see how he comes into his playoffs. He's had his rough patches. He's had his great patches in the playoffs. I think it'll be really defining to see what he brings to this postseason pitching-wise. If he can pitch well, the Yankees become a bigger threat. But if he did like what he did last year,
I think the Yankees have another hidden threat going into this series.
What do you think?
They played decent down the stretch, but they also have Matt Carpenter playing every day.
I think with the Yankees, you always got to remember they have the home run king.
They do. And if they give him more protection and Matt Carpenter shows up like he did when he first came to the team, their offense is going to outperform the Guardians. They're going to score more runs.
They're going to outscore. They're going to outslug. I'm not sure about outscore. I still have the Guardians winning this series.
But when you have strikeout pitchers like Garrett Cole and Severino,
but
it's going to be harder to do contact hitting.
The Guardians do too.
I know, but your hits have to mean more if you're getting fewer hits.
I don't necessarily think so. I think it's quantity over quality.
I don't think you're going to get more quantity. I think you're going
I
to
think
get
they
very
will.
limited hits, and you have to make them count.
I
when
don't
you
think
get
it's
them.
going to be limited for the Guardians this
'Cause,
series.
No, Guardians had a hard time moving runners over when they got them on base in the last series versus the Rays.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's going to happen against the Yankees, too. If you're only getting singles, you're going to struggle to score runs.
Yeah, but you got to remember that the Yankees pitching is not as good as the Rays 1-2 punch was. McClanahan and Glasnow are better than the top two the Yankees have.
The Yankees are still going to perform at almost that level.
If
Cole
it wasn't-
can come in, and he can pitch at that level. Severino, he's been pitching
like
at
I said,
that level
I need
since he
to
came back.
see Cole's first start before I can really say if he's at that level. McClanahan, if he didn't get hurt, would have been the Cy Young. He would have been the Cy Young if he wasn't hurt or if Verlander didn't exist. But
More the second option.
I don't think so. He was on a big. He was projected to Cy Young before he got hurt.
Well, Verlander got hurt too.
Yeah, but
They both got hurt.
McClanahan was hurt for longer. McClanahan was hurt for
Not that
longer.
much longer.
Anyway, like we said, he has the Yankees. I have the Guardians winning this series. I just see the Guardians pulling out. It'll be a fun. Like I said, all these series are going to be pretty fun. They're going to be fun. I think it's going to be really fascinating to see the Guardians more contact sided versus the Yankees slugging sided. I think a scary part about the Yankees you got to remember is if Rizzo or Stanton gets hot, it's scary. It's scary, scary, scary. And if all of them are hot, bye-bye, Cleveland.
Absolutely, because, looking back at Cleveland, the only reason they won Game 1 was Jose Ramirez hitting a home run.
Yep.
Was slugging.
Yeah, I know slugging plays a big role. Big hits.
The reason
play a
they
big role.
won both their games was off a home run.
Yes, I know.
That whole series was home run or die.
Which I don't like for the Guardians. I don't like that for the Guardians. I don't like that for baseball. That's not my favorite type of baseball. My favorite type of baseball is more single. If that would have been a walk-off single, I would have liked it more. I didn't like how at the end of that game, you saw people taking crazy swings, falling over, all that type of crap because they wanted to hit a home run. That's not my type of baseball, but I know it's what baseball's like.
I don't know if there's really been any series where a team's gone and did good contact, move the runner over playing.
The Phillies didn't hit a home run their first game.
Well, they scored their runs off having runs being walked in.
Off of contact hits. Like you said,
Errors
they didn't hit the ball hard.
Errors
They
and
didn't
walks.
hit the ball hard. They didn't hit the ball over the fence. And they still won.
And that was pitching and defensive errors that gave them the win, not good hitting.
But you got to put the ball in play to have the defensive errors happen.
They would have won the game just based on walks. Forget the hits.
No, they wouldn't have. They would not have. It was not a tie game until they started to put the ball in play. It wasn't over. Like I said, I'm just always going to stand on my hill that I like contact hitting. That's not saying that home runs aren't good. That's not saying that home runs can't win games. I'm just going to stand on my contact hill. Mostly because, as a player, probably this is part of my bias, is I was never a home run hitter. I was a contact hitter, and that might be why I'm more on the contact side. But, I've loved my contact hitters. But I also like home runs. It's not like I'm against home runs. No one should swing for the fences. Swing for the fences all you want. But there is a time in play to hit the ball and just put it in play.
I think, yes, you put the ball in play, but you put it in play hard. I don't care about swinging for the fences, but it's hard line drives. It's hitting the ball hard. That's how you get hits. That's how you get doubles.
There's nothing wrong about hitting the ball hard.
It's about hitting the ball hard. It's contact and hard. It's not weak contact. It's not
weak contact can work though. Weak contact can work. Look at Trey Turner. It seems like 10% of his hits are slow ground balls, maybe higher. It works both ways. Just put the ball in play is what we're saying, and if you hit it hard, good for you. In the last game of the day, 9:37 Eastern, Dodgers versus the Padres. Julio Urias with a 2.16 ERA, my Cy Young, but I'm not going to talk about that because I will get heated by every other fan in baseball. And Clevinger with a 4.33 ERA has a 9+ ERA this season versus the Dodgers. What do you have coming out? Just this game, not whole series wise, just this game. Who do you have winning?
I think to start it out, I think the Dodgers are too confident going into this one, and they're going to drop their first game.
I think it's the other way around. I think
they haven't played for a week, I
don't think that matters.
The San Diego's been hot.
I don't think that matters.
I think Dodgers drop first game.
I think Freddie Freeman...
I have the Dodgers winning this series, but I think they drop first game.
I just don't see the Padres getting the Julio, and I see the Dodgers getting the Clevinger. And I believe in the Dodgers pen. Not saying that they could always drop it. I just don't see them dropping it. I like what Freddie Freeman. The Padres have been hot recently. The Dodgers have been hot for 7 months. That's kind of how I see. And plus, I don't know. Yeah, I just see them winning. If they don't, like you said, they'll probably win the series anyway. I don't. It's really hard with some of these series, just like the Braves series. Even for some reason, I have the Phillies winning. It's hard to see them winning. It's hard to see that lower team winning. But underdogs exist. Underdogs are in baseball. They exist.
Well, sometimes the better team doesn't show up.
Yeah.
As you saw in the Phillies series, if the better team doesn't show up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think the thing the Dodgers do have for them is they have more playoff experience. I think that will play a role.
I don't think playoff experience is really a big factor in that series. I don't think that's a big contributing factor.
I don't know. I just don't know about the Padres winning this one. They're, like I said, I don't know. Especially with Clevinger pitching, if it was Snell or Yu Darvish, maybe.
You're going to see both those guys.
Joe Musgrove. But I just don't see Clevinger. If Clevinger comes out and blows my mind, good for you. You can win a game if your bullpen can hold it. I don't believe in the Padres bullpen that much either. Yes, Hader has been good recently. I think that's a plus for their bullpen, is Hader's pitching well. But they did give up a couple of guys to get him there out of their pen. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's how we have. So for tomorrow, you have the Padres, I have the Dodgers. I have the Phillies, you have the Braves. I don't know how I have the Phillies. I don't know. Will they win? I think they'll win the first game. I will want to see Fried. We both have the Astros winning tomorrow, and I have the Guardians. You have the Yankees, and we'll just enjoy watching. And that's probably it for today. We'll come back. We'll tell you about how the games went, what we're thinking for the next game, and thanks for watching, listening, whatever you're doing right now, and we'll see you guys next time.